All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're looking at a piece of tech that isn't just another small step forward, it's a massive leap in how AI actually works. We're talking about Google's brand new model, Gemini Deep Think, and its wild ability to think in a way we have just never seen before.
Now, everything we're digging into today is based on some amazing insights pulled together by AI Unraveled. That's a project run by senior AI engineer Etienne Newman, and he really cuts through all the hype. So yeah, you know we're getting right to the good stuff.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really understand why DeepThink is such a huge deal, we have to start with this one achievement. An achievement that honestly sent a tremor through the entire tech world. And here it is, get this. A research version of Gemini DeepThink scored a gold medal at the International Mathematical Olympiad. And look, this isn't just about getting the right answers. It did it by reading the problems in plain English and then writing out proofs that a human mathematician could actually read and understand, all within the insane 4.5-hour time limit. That is a gigantic leap for AI.
So, the big question is, how in the world did it pull that off? Well, the secret is a totally new way of problem solving. It's like they've built a different kind of AI brain. Let's break down how it works.
You see, for years now, AI reasoning has pretty much been stuck on this one track called chain of thought. You know, A leads to B, which leads to C. It's a single, straight line. DeepThink just throws that whole playbook out. Instead, it uses what Google is calling parallel thinking. So instead of one single train of thought, just imagine this, a massive, chaotic brainstorm where it's exploring dozens or even hundreds of different solutions all at the exact same time.
And that's not just marketing hype. A mathematician who got to test it out early on explained it perfectly. He said he was sitting there trying to juggle maybe 3 different solutions in his own head, but he said it felt like the AI was exploring, 20, maybe even 100 different ideas all at once. That gives you a real sense of the raw horsepower inside this thing.
So how is that even possible? Well, under the hood, it's running on some seriously impressive technology. The core of it is something called a sparse mixture of experts architecture, which, yeah, sounds super complicated. But think of it like this. You have a giant company full of specialists. Instead of sending every single problem to every single employee, a really smart manager, the router, sends the problem only to the few experts who are perfect for that job. You combine that kind of efficiency with Google's own custom computer chips, their TPUs, and bam, you get the sheer power you need for parallel thinking. Now, here's a super important point. There are 2 different versions of DeepThink out there. The model that won the gold medal, that's the research version. It's an absolute monster, but it can take hours to think through a problem, and it's pretty much locked away for a few academics. The one that's available to the public, the one for Google AI Ultra subscribers, is way faster, more practical for you and me. But its performance is closer to a bronze medal level. It's that classic trade-off, right? You've got absolute raw power versus practical, everyday speed. So when you see technology that is this advanced, it's natural to start wondering, okay, this is cool, but how do I go from just understanding it to actually building something with this kind of insight?
And for anyone out there feeling inspired to get your hands dirty, the creator of that AI Unraveled analysis, Etienne Newman, has you covered. He's got something called the AI Unraveled Builders Toolkit, which is full of practical tutorials and project templates. And he also has these certification ebooks to help you get up to speed on all the major cloud platforms. It's all about turning that spark of inspiration from today into some real-world skills.
Okay, so the Math Olympiad was incredible, for sure. But how does this beast of a model stack up against its biggest rivals in other areas? Let's take a look at the data. First up, Live Code Bench. This is a brutally tough benchmark for competitive coding. And as you can see, DeepThink has a pretty clear lead. So this tells us it's not just good with abstract math, it's also a top-tier coder that can build complex stuff under pressure. And then there's this. On a test called Humanity's Last Exam, which measures expert-level knowledge across tons of different fields, that lead becomes a chasm. I mean, look at that. It's not just a little bit ahead. It's in a completely different league. This really shows you just how broad and deep its understanding is. Numbers like these, they don't just exist in a vacuum. No,
These are shots being fired in an increasingly intense AI arms race between the world's biggest tech labs. And this table gives you a great snapshot of the battlefield. You've got Google shouting parallel thinking from the rooftops, using that public IMO win as their big proof point. Then you've got OpenAI, who says they also got a gold medal, but they're being kind of quiet about how they did it. And just look at the price tag on Deep Think. That tells you Google is positioning this as a premium, high-stakes tool for professionals. This competition, it isn't just happening in secret labs. It is playing out in public. And when the race is moving this fast, shaping the conversation is everything. That's why AI Unraveled, the very platform that did the analysis for this explainer, is calling on innovators to join in. If you're building in this space and you want to share your work with a really smart, engaged audience, well, they're looking for sponsored guests to come on the show. But, and this is a big but, with all of this incredible, world-changing power comes a much darker side. We have to talk about the risks, because they are just as groundbreaking as the capabilities. And this is the heart of the problem, isn't it? The same advanced thinking that can solve an impossible math problem could also be used for some really dangerous things. It is the definition of a double-edged sword. And with Deep Think, that edge is sharper than ever before. In fact, Google's own safety teams raised some major red flags, what they call early warning alerts. We're talking about the model being powerful enough to potentially help bad guys with chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons. That's CBRN. It's also scarily good at finding and using cybersecurity weaknesses. And then, on the flip side, the safety filters are sometimes so cautious, they'll block you from asking a perfectly safe but complex question. It just shows how incredibly hard this balancing act is. Which leaves all of us with the defining question of our time. Gemini Deep Think has shown us a new level of AI genius. It's capable of things we really thought were impossible. But as this power continues to skyrocket, the challenge for all of us is to figure out, how do we harness all of that genius without unleashing the very real risks that ride along with it?